Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Hindash and this is Timmy. And for today's video, I'm so excited because I've partnered with NARS, which is one of my all-time favorite brands. If you guys know me, you know I love NARS. And today's video is about their brand new foundation. It is the Soft Matte Complete Foundation, which is a foundation they did to kind of complement their concealer, which is one of my absolute all-time favorites. I put up a kind of a model search on Instagram because I wanted to find models that had a bit of skin issues that they wanted to cover up. And for today's model, I have the beautiful Haifa who replied to my model search and we kind of made this video happen. And throughout the video, you get to see the foundation in action. It's a beautiful matte, flawless coverage, very thin. It feels super thin, but I will get into that in the video. So yeah, let's get into the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave me a comment and a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye. Alright, so this is Haifa's beautiful before and after, and as you can see, her skin looks so flawless and she has beautiful skin. And I'm gonna get into skincare, and you guys know I love doing kind of a full brand tutorial to see how all the products work together, and that way I kind of really discovered things that I love from the range, and that's how I discovered so many of my favorites. So to start off, I'm taking a toner. This is the NARS Skin Multi-Action Hydrating Toner. It is a very great toner for everyday use. Next, I'm going to be taking the NARS Skin Optimal Brightening Concentrate. I know a lot of people that rave about this and love this. And because I'm going for a very matte look, I'm keeping all my layers very thin, so this serum is perfect for that. And next, I'm going to be following up with the NARS Skin Aqua Gel Luminous Oil-Free Moisturizer. And again, this is a gel. It's going to feel very light on the skin, but it's going to give her that hydration that I want before makeup to make sure everything sits beautifully on top of the skin. And again, this really feels super weightless, so go for any moisturizer that's going to be more of a gel and that still has a hydrating property if you're going to go for a full matte look, even if you're oily. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be massaging that onto the skin and giving her skin kind of a boost and a prep before makeup, because that's always a treat and you always feel good. Next, I'm going to be going in with eye cream. This is the NARS Skin Total Replenishing Eye Cream. And again, I really think hydration before makeup is really important, especially if you're going for a full matte look. You still want a very light, hydrating base. Even if you're oily, just use oil-free gel products. Next, I'm going to be taking the NARS Pore and Shine Control Primer, and I'm going to be putting that on the T-zone. So a bit on the nose, forehead, and cheeks and chin. And I'm going to be rubbing that in very gently, but mainly just tapping it in, because I feel with primer, the more you tap in, the better it sinks in. And what I noticed from personal use, I have tried the foundation without a primer, and I really don't think it needs a primer because it has that skin blurring technology almost. I don't know, but it feels very thin and blurring. Next, I'm going to be going in with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation, the star of the show, and I'm taking the shade Barcelona. And I'm going to be applying that on a palette and then taking my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very thin layer and start working from the outside of the face and then building it in. And as you guys know, I love to work in very thin layers, and this foundation is so thin. I almost felt like I wasn't really applying anything. And I know it's not going on my skin, but sometimes I can feel the weight of the foundation as I'm applying it. So then I kind of know when to shear something out, but this went on so thin. And it's covering so beautifully. You guys know I love to rely on a concealer for more of problematic areas or areas that I want to cover, but this one is just doing it. So the claims of this foundation is that it is a comfortable 16-hour wear, and it is a true color and it resists oxidizing on your skin, so it's not going to change color throughout the day or after you apply it. It does come in 34 shades, it's high coverage, and it has hyaluronic acid and vitamins, which is a bonus. And what I would say is, without reading any claims, is that it has a really soft blur to it. I think that's the main kind of focus that I would give the foundation, is that it has a very soft blur finish and it covers everything. And when I get to the forehead, I'm going to use very little product, so kind of whatever is left on the brush, but I am keeping the concentration of that in the center, kind of between the center of her brows, but on her forehead, and then blending everything out into the perimeter of the forehead. And I'm also going to go in very thinly around the nose as well, and then just tapping everything in. And I'm not going to be putting a lot of foundation underneath the eyes because I'm going to go in with the Soft Matte Complete Concealer for under the eyes. For a bit of lip balm, I'm taking the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm in Dolce Vita. And I'm just applying that on her lips to prep her lips before we get to lipstick. For concealer, I'm taking the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Ginger. You guys know I love this concealer. I've talked about it in my top favorite concealers. And I feel like the best way to apply this is with a brush. I have applied it with a beauty blender. It does work great, but my favorite preferred method is with a brush or with your fingers. So what I'm doing here is I'm applying it with a flat concealer brush just so I can kind of lay it on there and know where I'm going to conceal and highlight. And I'm going to be going in around the eyes and a tiny bit around the nose as well, and around her mouth to just brighten any areas that I feel like I want to highlight. And you guys know with concealer, I love to highlight and conceal at the same time. So I'm not just relying on concealer for coverage, I want to highlight her best features. And I'm going to be blending that in with a fluffy brush to kind of really buff everything into the skin. And because it's a cream product, I feel like buffing it in with a buffing brush works beautifully. And you can use any brush. I'm going to be using an eyeshadow brush and just really working that concealer in. And in areas where I don't need a lot of coverage, I'm just going to be blending that so sort of underneath her eyes on the brow bone. I'm going to be doing a bit of cream contouring because I am using cream products, and this is the NARS Velvet Matte Foundation Stick in the shade Trinidad. And because this is the foundation, a little bit goes a long way, so it is going to really blend out. I'm going to be applying that on the nose, the cheekbones, the jawline, and the forehead. So I'm going to be kind of bronzing and contouring at the same time. And I'm going to be buffing and blending that in. And when I get to the face, I'm going to use my foundation brush because I still have a bit of foundation there. So it's really going to help me buff everything in and not make the application look patchy. And don't be afraid to really buff it in there and make it look very seamless, especially when you get to the forehead and around the hairline. You really want that seamless blend. And when you're blending the cheekbones, you want to blend up and out so that you don't drag your cheekbones down. You want to lift everything and create a lifted layer. But when you get to the jawline, you want to blend downwards because you want to create that shadow and that contour for a really sharp, defined jawline. For cream blush, I'm taking the NARS Hot Tin Roof Liquid Blush, and I'm going to be applying that on my palette and then applying it with a brush and stippling it onto the cheeks. And it is such a beautiful kind of terracotta rose color, and it really complements Haifa's skin tone. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be applying that pretty high up on the cheekbones and bringing it into the cheeks to give us that really nice healthy flush as if she's been out in the sun, but not really. And I'm going to set everything very lightly with the NARS Translucent Crystal Powder, which is one of my all-time favorites because you cannot overdo it with this application. It doesn't pick up a lot of product, which I love. So you can never really go overboard. It's just going to give you that perfect application of setting whatever is still kind of tacky or wet, which is where I did the blush application. For an eyeshadow base, I'm taking the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base in light and dark, and I'm going to be mixing them in together to create a medium. And I'm going to be applying that all over the lids. And what I love about these is that you are prepping the eyelids for eyeshadow application, but at the same time, you're creating a very seamless, even tone by kind of canceling out any redness or any discoloration. So you get that really beautiful clean base for eyeshadow to stick on top of and for you to do whatever you want. For eyeshadow, I'm taking the brand new NARS Extreme Effects eyeshadow palette. I created another look with this, which is going on my Instagram, and it's so good. It's much more dramatic. But for this look, I'm keeping everything matte and really kind of winged out and sculpted and lifted. So I'm taking that nude beige shade and applying that all over the lids. And then I'm going to be going in with my NARS Mambo eyeliner. Did you guys think I was not going to use Mambo? I love this eyeliner so much. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to create a soft wing. So nothing crazy because I am going to be smudging that in with that really red kind of burgundy color. And as I'm smudging it out, I am going to be taking it into the crease in a V shape. So this is where I start to sculpt the eyes, but keeping the center of the lid free. So I want all of that to be very clean, but I want the work to be on the outer corners. So taking that shadow again and smudging everything out and making everything very diffused and very smoky, but in a very kind of calculated way. So not going overboard. And then going in with a fluffier brush, I'm taking that same color again and really diffusing everything out even more and adding that intensity, but keeping everything really blown out and smoky. If you feel like you want to blend something even further, dip it into a color that really matches your skin tone, and that way you can buff that color out without losing the intensity of it, but you're just going to soften it and blur it. And to give us even more intensity and depth, I'm going to be dipping into that sparkly black shade and just really wiggling it close to the lash line to give us more dimension. And that way when she opens her eyes, you have that really beautiful kind of swoop from the lashes that go out. And then going back to the burgundy shade and applying that on the lower lashes, just on the outer part. And smoking it out into the outer corner. For a bit of powder bronzer, I'm taking the NARS Laguna Matte Bronzing Powder because I do want to keep everything very matte, but very kind of glowy at the same time, without using shimmer. And you do get that look by really creating a dimension to the face. So you do want to have blush, you want to have a bit of bronzer, and you want to have your highlights that you've done with your concealer or foundation. And then going over my blush with a powder blush, and this is the NARS Gina blush, which is a really soft peach, and I love this color. For mascara, I'm taking the NARS Climax Extreme Mascara, which is the new one, and it is very extreme. It does look so good. And I'm just going to let Haifa apply that and really kind of work it into the lashes. And as you can see, she doesn't need any fake lashes, so I'm really just going to work with her own lashes because they look amazing. And for lip liner, I'm taking the NARS Morocco Lip Pencil, which is really nice, kind of a rosy nude lip liner, a deep rose. And I'm going to be lining Haifa's lips and then filling them in because I'm kind of working what color I want to go for. I do want to match the eyes, but I don't want to make them too intense where they take away from the eyes and the face. And to balance it out, I'm going to be taking the NARS Powermatte Lip Pigment in Get It On, which is a lighter nude. And I'm going to be applying that with a lip brush on the center of the lip and blending it into the lip liner. And I feel like that creates a really nice balance and reflects the colors that we did with the eyeshadow. And to give it more luminosity, I'm taking the NARS Oil-Infused Lip Tint in the shade Orgasm and applying that on the center of the lip and to the top lip as well. And I feel like this really brings it together because it's a very thin gloss and it looks so good on Haifa. And that is my final look. This is a really perfected base and you can really wear this to so many different occasions. This is a perfect bridal look actually. You can just add a bit of shimmer on the eyes if you want to. You can add a bit of highlight, but I wanted to keep it very soft and blurred and luminous at the same time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye.